Hello and welcome back to another episode. Now today I want to share with you my favourite snowboarding computer game, and that is SSX3. I was first introduced to SSX3 actually on the PlayStation 2 when I was a student. My friends and I in the second year had a house where there's a PlayStation, and we'd play this quite frequently. Now this is the GameCube version. This is actually the version which I became best at home, as it were. So in the summer and at Christmas, playing against my brother, for example, we'd have a ton of fun with this game. Now, clearly as the number implies, SSX3, this is not the first SSX game. And actually there are lots of other iterations of SSX over the years. For example, I do own SSX Blur, which is essentially a remake of this game. The reason why I say remake is that it's also based on a mountain with 3 peaks, and that's part of the beauty of this game, is the fact that it's actually essentially it's an open world snowboarding game. Open world is too generous, perhaps rather it's a free open sandbox. I know that's kind of the same thing, snowboarding game. But basically you get to choose what events you do, especially when you're playing Conquer the Mountain, by literally snowboarding there. So I'm snowboarding to a race at the moment. On each peak there are different characteristics. So peak 1's quite pleasant, peak 2 is a little bit stormy, peak 3 is downright dangerous with bits of ice breaking away and the mountain coming apart underneath you. But really, the actual appeal of this game, the reason why I got so hooked in uni, and the reason why I'm still hooked to this day, is because actually it's very, very user-friendly. This is the snowboarding equivalent of Ridge Racer. It is easy to control, and easy also to do some fairly impressive tricks and manoeuvres. So, for example, the control scheme is on the GameCube controller. B is boost. To grab your board, it's the left and right shoulder buttons, and also the Z button. Different parts of the board are grabbed using that. And to twist in the air, you simply mash essentially the D-pad in the direction that you want to twist. Now, if memory serves, on the PlayStation 2, that function was performed using the second analog stick. But basically, I suppose what I'm saying is it's very easy to get into. I mean, frankly, I'm talking to you and still just about coming in first on this race. So it's fun, it's straightforward, but don't let that fool you. It is also difficult to master. This is like all the best games, all the best board games, all the best computer games. Easy to learn the basics, but difficult to really, really, really become a mega expert at. That's one of the reasons why it's also actually quite addictive. It's not just accessible, but it's also actually, it keeps you coming back. You want to improve your time, improve your score, because there are different types of events. There are races like the one I'm racing now. There are freestyle events where you sort of try and build up a score and a way of attacking a slope over time. And there's also, I think, big slope events as well, which is specifically fairly short event, but usually like with a half pipe or something, where you try and build up tricks. Just then, thankfully the first time on this track, when you fall over, you have to tap B rapidly to recover. So even then, it's a very forgiving game, and again, it feels very arcadey. It feels, as I say, to be honest, it does feel exactly like I'm playing Ridge Racer, my favourite iteration, Ridge Racer 64, in fact. So I love it, absolutely love it. I also love the characters in the game. I almost always play as Vigo. This is Vigo, and he is a bit of a surfer dude, as it were. He's into his looking good, having a good time. He's a bit like in other games he'd use phrases like discombobulated, this kind of thing. He's very relaxed, but in that sense he's actually the polar opposite to me. I'm not very relaxed. Although my brother is. My brother's more like Vigo than me, actually. There is, ironically, a character in the game called Mac. And my username, usually on the computer game, is MAC, as I've discussed in a previous video. But for some reason, Mac just kind of annoys me. I think he's just a bit of a prick, actually. So that's why I always play with Vigo. But yeah, all in all, I love the whole setup. I love the world. I love the fact that you've got this EA Radio Big. You've got DJ Atomica, who I'm pretty sure appears in Paradise City, the wonderful Burnout Paradise City, and it just creates this sense of a little world that you're in, and you can go anywhere on the mountain. You can relax. You can take it seriously. You can kick back, listen to tunes. You can listen to the banter between the different riders. And also, actually, on the radio station, in addition to the music, you also get little kind of cool little tidbits about the world. So maybe like little interview so the results of interviews with key characters, or maybe like the local mayor is asking people to stop grinding on the rails in town, this kind of thing. But yeah, so this is Heat 2 of this particular race. Now, obviously, there's more than one race in this game. Should we go and take a look at a cityscape instead? So let's give up here. I don't often give up, I have to say. Let's go and take a look at Metro City, shall we? So transport, peak 1, race, Metro City. There we go. Now, I recently lost my save file for this game, so I'm having to unlock it all again. So peak 3 isn't unlocked yet, sadly. But anyway, here we are. To go to transport to Metro City. And here we go. Jane's Addiction and the Strays, Hypersonic. Wonderful music as well. And actually, the way that the music is handled in the game is fantastic. So if you're doing really well, you get the full track. So you get the bass, you get the guitar, you get the voice, everything. If you're not doing so well, it cuts down just to the bass track, or the bass part of the track, which is a really good way of emphasizing when you're, as they say, killing it, and when you could be doing better. So it's again, the whole experience is wonderful. Now, I had an incredibly dramatic rivalry with one person who I lived with in uni. This person was a bit of a health nut, bit of a martial arts nut, and a massive prick. Do you know what? That house had at least 3 pricks that I lived in. One of them was the guy who I first experienced Serenity. It sort of nicked his copy from his room one summer, just because he's a prick. And and this person who would race against on this was a prick. I was surrounded by pricks. Now, honestly, that might make me sound like a potential prick, but I promise you, I wasn't the only person who thought these people were annoying. Yeah, I'm not just the common denominator here, folks. I promise you. Anyway. So yeah, so we had this big rivalry, and so we were constantly comparing times and reporting back to each other, and it got kind of to the point where it just wasn't all that much fun. So I sort of gave up playing the PlayStation 2 version, and that's when I picked up the GameCube version. And I just love it. I love it. I absolutely love how, because I hadn't actually played this game properly for a couple of years, and I just put it in about 4 days ago, and I'm pretty much back to being semi-decent, he says, crashing into the snow. And I couldn't recommend it more. It's my favourite snowboarding game. Possibly, yeah, no, it is my favourite snowboarding game. That said, though, 1080 snowboarding on the 64 has a very, very special place in my heart. But this one is just my favourite because of the combination of things: the characters, the sort of quasi-open world gameplay, the radio station, the banter, and frankly the gameplay. It feels really, really good to play. Hopefully it looks quite good as well. It looks as though it's fun, because it is. I've got to stop trying to flip when I haven't got room to land. Now you can up your stats as well, actually, so you can make yourself, for example, spin quicker, do more impressive tricks, whatever, by earning money on Conquer the Mountain, and and spending that money at the lodges. You also actually earn money for winning races. So first time I won this race, for example, I earned $10,000. And then you can sort of spend that on clothing, stats. For example, there he's got a can of what's called rocket fuel, presumably some sort of energy drink in his hand, which I'm sure I earned that actually for winning a race. Anyway, point is you can upgrade your characters. That's something else which I love about the game. So I don't know, I mean snowboarding, skateboarding games, sometimes you're just in the mood for them, and that's one of the reasons why this game is so magnificent, is that it really scratches that itch in a way that doesn't sort of punish you if you haven't played it for a little while. You know, you can come back to it and it'll go, hey, been a long time, buddy. You know, like, let's hit the snow, and you're like, yeah. So I like it, I like it. This is much better, come on. Yes. Oh, sorry, I'll go up here. Yes. Oh, hit the building, never mind. But I'm having fun, and that's the whole point. I haven't actually tried, though, to be fair, I haven't tried SSX 1 or 2. I think they're basically PlayStation games. I had tried SSX Tricky, and I just prefer this. I prefer SSX3. I love the structure, basically, that 3-peak structure, and the balance. The balance just feels better. The gameplay balance, and also, like I said, the controls. So, yeah, but it's well worth trying them all. Definitely see which one you prefer. If you see an SSX game, pick it up, give it a go. Now, it has been remarked in the past that the SSX franchise is sort of famous for reinventing itself with each game. And more recently, there have been sort of slightly more, I think, hardcore versions of SSX coming out on more recent generation consoles. You know, ones where I think you can freeze to death. I might be wrong with that, or is that one that was in development and didn't come out? I'll put an annotation on the screen. But that one never really appealed to me either, because again, I don't want. This is what I want. You know, I want something that's silly, a bit silly, but serious enough that it'll beat you up if you do something wrong. I want something a little bit like Ridge Racer, where actually it's about, to a certain extent, gameplay skill, as opposed to trying to be real world you know, it's not a simulation. I think that's what I'm getting at. This isn't a snowboard simulator. If it was, I think some people would complain about the physics, definitely. That's better, 2 minutes 50. Okay, right. New record, let's save that record, shall we? There we go. Nice. Let's quit that. Oh no. Restart. And let's take a look at something else, shall we? I can just get to the transport. I also love the way Vigo gets his tongue stuck to the pole. Give up. Yeah. It's completely against my nature to give up, I have to say. Right, transport. Let's see. Let's see, sort of freestyle. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, we've seen him get his tongue stuck to a pole many times now. And you'd be right, there's a little bit of, there could be more variation in what people are doing, especially on these sort of the loading screens. But you got to remember, this is, you know, PlayStation 2, GameCube era, you know? You got to give it its dues. And the point is, it gets the gameplay right. Ah, shoot. At least it would if I was playing the game right. There we go. It's more like it. Yes. Could be much better. Let's try round 2. Final round. Oh. Okay, off we go. This time I won't bugger it up. He says, But anyway, as I was saying, I like the way that I don't have to take this game too seriously. No, I will keep this recording. I will. I deserve a little bit of humble pie. Oh, which way am I going? Where am I even going? Come on, this way. That is criminal, Vigo. Shame. At least I scored enough in the first run to get 3rd place, and I got $2,500 for that. So, you know, where's your $2,500, eh? Person watching this. Now, actually, also as well, you can just do free ride. So in this case, we're being taken to the top of the mountain, which you can't get to on the ski lift, which makes great sense. So you get dropped off. And off we go. Don't want to do any challenges. The green sort of light ups are challenges, usually to do with basically either getting a certain number of trick points or reaching certain. Like one of them is help a skier retrieve their ski gear. It's been left on the mountain, so I want to do that today. Now those are the starburst-like things, top left there, of which I got 12 out of 44, are actually it's money. So basically, you can on the way down the mountain, I've got another 22 to go. No, that would be 34. 32 to go. Can I get that one? Not quite. Never mind. Basically, so at this stage, it's $500. Sorry, per starburst, and on peak 2, 1,000. Peak 3, I'm pretty sure it's 1,500 per starburst. And all that goes towards being in the lodge, improving your gear, upping your stats. And in that sense, there's a slight sort of RPG-ishness to it. I don't really like the way that people take stat improvement to mean RPG. Even though you can sort of modify your rider to basically play more like you play, get up the stats that you use most. So I suppose there's an RPG element. You are sort of playing that role, but this isn't an RPG, folks. You know, let's be honest. This is but then again, is it? Am I playing the role of Vigo here? Now we're getting into computer game philosophy. Oh god, genre philosophy. Well, if you're still with me at this stage of the video, well done. We're not just going, God, this guy's shit at big slopes, and what's he talking about? Genre philosophy? I'm not here for that. Where's the snowboarding? He's not even that good on the snowboard. Look at that, he's just avoided the log. So I'm now just imagining what people might be saying if they're just criticising me. Yeah, nice. Anyway, focus, man, focus. That's more like it. Now there is actually a recovery button as well. That's what I call the top kidney button, or the Y button. You have to check, which gives you a bit of a mulligan, as they say in golfing games. Gives you a sort of a do-over for the last few meters, and that can be useful because as well designed as these tracks are, as these mountains are, you can sometimes find yourself sort of trapped in crevices, trapped between a bollard and a rock, or a tree or something. So it can be very useful to be able to just push that button. It does, though. I'm pretty sure essentially cost you a time. It takes you out of things for a little, like a second or two. So it's not something that you can use to cheat, because if you use it all the time, you won't win the race, basically. So there we go. And here we are back, pretty much where we started on the mountain. So this is the sort of the central hub of Peak 1.
Hey, here's a bit of inside info on the SSX circuit. Peak 1's being tagged by none other than Mac Fraser himself as his own personal stomping grounds.
See, Mac Fraser.
Anyone who will listen and try and give him a run for his money. Anybody else?
Mac is a dick. See, I knew it. There are 4 races. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you have this MCOM, which is your sort of your radio, your phone. You can see that it gives you the temperature. It's basically it's the menu hub system, or it's the menu system, sorry, for the game, and also acts as a bit of a hub. I like it. Again, it's all part of that sort of in-world feel to it. But let's leave it here, shall we? Let's go to the lodge.
Teacher, Mr. Morrison. Preferably one who won't be skipping his or her classes every snowfall.
Enter the lodge. Let's see what gear I can buy. Buy gear. Boards. 7-Up DNL? Nah. Can I get an interesting hat? Low beanies. Oh! Kinda rad. BB. Flak. Oh, I'll go for flak, actually. Yeah, buy item. Oh, my dog's gone. And equip. Yeah, that's not bad. Save game. See, Mac. Always save as Mac. I just don't like Mac Fraser. And there we go. Well guys, that has been a little bit of SSX3, and this is basically why I love it. I love the fact that it's just so easy to pick up and play. This is, say, the Ridge Racer of snowboarding games, and it's the best one in my opinion. Like I said, I've got SSX Blur on the Wii, and it's just not quite as good. The controls aren't as pleasing. The way that you do super uber tricks, so you build up your tricks and get better and better tricks, is really complicated on the Wii version. On this version, it's just a case of practice, 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 and I love that. So you can pick it up and play, or you can practice and get really, really good at the game. Definitely give this a go if you get a chance. I think it's about a £5 on eBay. I saw this game for the other day, so why not try it out? Anyway guys, as ever, until next time, do take care. Bye bye.